Okay, this is gonna be my presentation for redlining and gerrymandering. I had already tried to do this, but I went way over 7 minutes. So I'm gonna try to get through it a little bit faster. Okay. I also moved because over there you couldn't see the screen, so I am in my I am on my bed now. Okay. This is my presentation. Yeah, starting off, I just wanted to talk about the definition of gerrymandering. Gerrymandering is the act of manipulating votes, so influencing who people vote for or which side that they take. Most often, this is going to be people wanting others to side with the white population instead of the ethnic minority side. Or that's what I saw in my research, at least. um I am very grateful to have done this topic. I wanted to do it because it's something that I've been aware of, but I didn't know that there was actual terms for it. So um like gerrymandering happens all around us all the time. Redlining I was not familiar with, and I didn't know about the maps, so I thought that was really interesting, but we will get to that. um yeah, this is just the definition, and then I kind of went a little bit deeper into it, um as I will in my paper as well. But here I talk about, like I did, it's most commonly going to be siding with the white population instead of the ethnic minorities. um Even in like court, the Supreme Court, specifically in one of my sources, I talked about them siding with the white population instead of the ethnic minorities and kind of changing their stance to give the whites the advantage in the courthouse. um I also talked about Shaw versus Reno, and again they gave the white party the advantage, even though in other cases they will change it, like I said, in order to give the whites the upper hand. um and then I wanted to kind of go into the background of how it started. um so it goes back to 1788, or that's when it was first like recorded, but I do think that this action probably went a lot further back. I think it's in our nature to win, and if that takes swaying the votes to win, I think that it has probably been happening for as long as time goes. um but in 1788 in specific, is when anti-federalists wanted to push Madison out. They didn't want him in Congress. He still ended up winning, but it still was an effort. um and then in 1812 is when we see the actual term being coined. It was Governor Elbridge Gerry, and they kind of combined his name with the salamander, which is kind of like serpent, like slithery, snaky, and they combined those two terms in order to make gerrymandering. They wanted to describe him like snaking the Senate to give his party more seats. Um, like I said, it was what was going to benefit him most, so that is what he did. I thought that this picture was a good visual for this, so that's why I included that. Um, and then moving on to redlining. Redlining is the act. Okay, in specific to what I'm talking about, it's going to be the HOLA maps, which put certain neighborhoods on these maps, which made them look lesser than. They went from grade D. Some of them were higher, but most commonly grade D, which is the lowest. Um, and they were determined to be on these maps for things like housing prices and like their age, like how old they are. But the concentration of African Americans was also something that was a factor. in putting them on these maps. And I think that majority of the influence came from that. Yeah, it was it was just an act to isolate the African Americans, basically. Um, for the people who resided there, it meant that they were left with less overall. A lot of people wanted to leave. They didn't want to be known. Like, if they were able to leave, they left, because living there meant that your quality of life just decreased. There was no more investment into the area. And that meant for like education, um, financial financial things as well. Sorry, I am kind of sick. But yeah, things just did not look good for them anymore. Um and yeah, it in my paper I also talk about long-term effects, um which is like credit. And I just wanted to end it with, why is this important? This is important because even though like the redlining maps happened in 1930, this is still something that affects us and can in the future affect us more. Gerrymandering is something that still happens. Um so I think it's good to educate ourselves on these and kind of the science leading up to them. But yeah, that is all I have for my presentation. Thank you for giving me the chance to like go really deep into these. I thought it was really interesting. But yeah, that's all I got.